I never thought I would say this, but I feel like a teacher. I feel like a teacher who's dealing with a student who's just naturally talented, but doesn't try. In my school district, a 93 is an A. I feel like Bethesda is a student who has like a 92%, and they don't study at all. They're just a really good student. You play games like Oblivion, and they're awesome. You play a game like Fallout 3. It's very different, at least in terms of, like, the time period and the environment, but it's still really good. They know how to work with post-apocalyptic worlds, they know how to work with high fantasy, they know how to work with medieval stuff, they know how to work with science fiction. They know how to do almost all this stuff. I feel like I'm trying to tell them, like, look, if you just studied for half an hour, you would get an A easily. And what do I mean by that in terms of the games? Well, look, I mean, like, Fallout New Vegas, the other game I have here. When I'm playing Fallout New Vegas, I'm like, look, this game is incredible. Same thing for Fallout 3 and Oblivion, which I showed you before. These games are really good. They're great. But I have this love-hate relationship with Bethesda, because while their games are great, they're always incredibly glitchy. And again, I'm playing PlayStation 3 versions, so it's entirely possible that the other console versions are better, or the PC version's better. Especially for Fallout 3 and Oblivion, because that was early in the PlayStation life cycle, and most multi-platform games were better on other consoles or PC at that time. But Fallout New Vegas was just a mess. And that game was, what, 2010, right? Yeah, that game, like, there's no excuse for that. They had, I think, 4 years to work with the hardware. They couldn't figure out how to get rid of all the bugs. Look, I know they're open world, I know they're big games, but still, that's not an excuse for the incredible number of bugs in these games. And this has been a problem with Bethesda all of this generation. Alright? Yeah, some other developers are doing it too, but Bethesda's doing it the worst. Right? They're doing it the most. And what I really am worried about with them is it's getting worse. Like in Oblivion, okay? Maybe it froze on me a couple times. It's got some glitches, okay, it's got pop-in. But it was also a really early game in this generation, so some of that can be forgiven. Because they only had, like a year or two to work with the technology, at most, and that's assuming that Sony gave them the PlayStation technology before it came out to the public. Then Fallout 3, though. Fallout 3 actually froze on me more than Oblivion. Now, I like Fallout 3 more. I think it's a better game. It's just more my style. I like the 50s type of time period. But it actually froze up on me more. I found more glitches, found more problems. And in Fallout 3, I was like, what on earth is going on? The point is, they're getting worse and worse. Fallout New Vegas probably froze on me 100 times. Literally. Now, okay, maybe my disk is abnormally screwed up. But, like, if you go to the wiki, fan-made Wikipedia for Fallout games, or even Oblivion, at the end of every quest, you'll find a glitches or bugs section that they'll make. And it's literally like a couple pages long for almost all the quests in every one of these games, getting longer and with more severe bugs as they progress towards New Vegas. So, look, it's one thing to make a glitchy game at the beginning of generation, and honestly, Oblivion wasn't even that glitchy, but it becomes a big problem when, 4 years in, you're still making stuff like New Vegas in terms of glitches. And I feel really bad the way I'm talking about these games, because I really like all of them. I know from this video you would think that I'm really angry at these games, but I'm not. They're really good games. I'm just frustrated with the amount of glitches. And I feel like it's a very hard decision, because, like, the games are good, so you want to buy them. And normally the only reason a developer would work harder on their games is if they don't sell very well. But it's like, you really want to buy the game, because it's a good game. Okay, you push through the freezes, you reset your console a few times, but it's still good, you still have fun with it. Especially Fallout 3. But then, on the other hand, if you keep doing that, they're not going to fix the problem, because they're going to look at their sales and be like, sales are pretty good. Why should we fix anything? Why should we change anything? So, I don't really want to sit back and just hope that they do the right thing. But this is yet another problem this generation that people don't really seem to be standing up about. Maybe if like a million people make a video like this and they leave a million comments on Bethesda's forum if they have one, maybe then they'll pay attention. But this is going to be a serious problem. And it annoys me because Bethesda is so close to being like the best developer out there, or one of the best. These glitches are all that's keeping them from being in that top tier group, in my opinion. So anyway, in the comments, have you guys had any incredibly bad glitches in any of these games, or any other game from Bethesda? Pretty much ever. I don't even care when it's from. But the thing is, like, the worst glitch I had was actually in Oblivion. There was a quest where you had to go to this guy, talk to him to get a quest, and then you could come back to him later, and he would take you on a boat to go to this island. When I came back to him, he was dead. Like, how does that happen, Bethesda? Come on. You can't let the guy who gives a quest die. And it's not like I killed him. It's not like a player character killed him. I just went back and he was dead. He wasn't even in a hostile area. He was in the middle of a town, in a tavern. And he was just dead. In fact, I noticed a couple times playing that game that these two characters would fight. And they have no reason to. There's not like a war going on in the town. The two characters would just randomly start killing each other. And one of them was the guy who was supposed to give you a quest. Okay, Bethesda, how can that happen? It's not like I played this game a million times through. My first playthrough, my only playthrough, I encountered this problem. How did none of your testers catch it? Did you test the game? I mean, geez. It's very frustrating because they're so good. If they were a mediocre developer, I wouldn't care. So anyway, leave your stories about glitches in the comments. I guess I got like 1 or 2 more videos to make about things that annoy the heck out of me this generation. So I'll see you in the next one.